So we have here results folder, and here we have our results: stress, displacement, strain, factor of safety. We can also right click on the results and we can define factor of safety plot that we showed. We can go with stress plot, displacement, and strain, and we have those plots here. We can also go with define design insight plot. So let's click on this one. This plot shows which part carry the most in our model. So we see that those parts here, here, and here, and here carry the most. So we can go with this left to right to see how the volume of the part who carry the most changes. And now you can see here which regions in your part have to be the strongest. So we must have the rib strong, the base plate here, and here. So this is really interesting plot to see where your part is the most affected by the loads. So let's click OK. Now we have some chart plots here. We can also show these chart plots by going to Study Advisor. So let's go to Study Advisor, and here let's go to Results. Here we have animation, so we can play animation if we want. We can click play, and now we can see the animation of our model affected by the loads. We can stop, and let's go now to everything looks reasonable. And here we have material breaking or yielding. So we can also create a plot here. So we have here show factor of safety plot, show regions that carry most of the load. We showed that before. Now we can also show regions of tension and compression. Let's click on this one. So we have here highlight regions of tension. So we can click on this one, and now we can see the regions of tension. And we can also go with this one to the left or right and to see the changes of the tension in different regions. Let's click OK, and we can also highlight regions of compression, and here we can see the compression as well. And we can also put a number here of the stress, and then we can see which region has this value of stress. Let's go out, let's cancel, let's go back, and here also we have create stress plot as we have here, and strain plot. So let's exit from this one. Let's go to stress. Let's double click on the stress, and let's right click on the stress. So we can go here to edit definition. And here we have the first step, definition. So we can here define what we want to display. We can go with von Mises stress. We can choose normal stress, shear, principal stress, and so on. Here we can choose a unit. And here we have deformed shape. So as we've seen before, when we were playing animation, we have some deflection. And this deflection is exaggerated because here we have scale factor. And this is automatic. We can use user defined, and we can go, for example, with 5. And now if we click OK, and if we check this one, deformed result, now our model is deformed. Let's click here to turn this off. Let's turn this on. And now we see that the deflection is not so big because we decrease the scale factor. So let's right click again. Let's go to edit definition. And let's go to automatic again and deformed shape. So you can also turn on and turn off the deformed shape here as well as here. Now let's go to chart option tab. Here we can show the minimum annotation of the selected plot, maximum annotation. We can also show hide plot details. Here we have plot details. We have a model name, study name, plot type. We can turn this off and turn this on. As well, we can turn on and off legend here. And we can check here automatically define maximum value, or we can define our maximum value here, as well as the minimum value. Here we have position of our legend, So we can move our legend to the right, left, and up and down. As well, we can move this legend with a mouse, clicking here and dragging mouse where you want. Here we have the width of the legend. We have a normal. We can go with thick. We can choose thin and normal here. And here we have our number format. We have floating. Now we can go to scientific like this. We can also go to general, and then we have something like this. But let's go to floating, and here we have number of decimals. And then we have here a tab settings. So we have here fringe options. Now we have continuous. Let's go to discrete. Now we have discrete, as you see. Now we see more clearly our regions of different stresses. Let's go to continuous, and here we have boundary options. So we can go with none. Now we don't see edges. We can see them, but they are not with the black color. We can go with mesh. Now we see our mesh. Let's go back to model. Let's click OK. Let's right click on the stress again. Here we also have animation. So let's go to animation, and now we see our animation. Here we can change the speed of our animation. Now we see that it's faster. Let's stop. Here we can change number of the frames. We can go to 15. Let's play. Let's go with the maximum speed. And now we have more finer animation. Let's stop this. And here we have a loop and forward only. As well, we can save this as a AVI file. Here we can choose destination and save this. Let's go back. Let's right click on the stress and let's go to section clipping. So what is section clipping? Section clipping enables plotting different section views of the displayed results. For example, now we have here a section plane, front plane, and we can see the section. We can change here the distance, and we can change here the angle, like this. As well, we can pick here cylinder, like this, and sphere, like this. So this is useful if you want to see the cross-section of the results of your simulation. So let's go back. Let's right click and let's go to mesh sectioning. Now also here we have the section view of our model, but now we see the 3D view of our mesh. And now we can see the shape of our mesh inside of the model. We can also change the distance. We can change the angle, as you see. And we can go with cylinder, like this. So we have this kind of view. Okay, let's exit this. So those are the most common chart plots, how you can show your results. So plotting the results makes easier to get general overview of the type of plotted results. And now we're going to show how we can list our results, how we can create prop plots, and how we can generate reports.